instructions. If this safety announcement has alarmed you in any way, there's a fully licensed bar downstairs, and if it's really alarmed you, there are toilets downstairs as well. Ahead of us now, Waterloo Bridge, the longest and widest bridge in London. Waterloo Bridge is the best bridge in London to walk over. Tower Bridge, the best bridge in London to look at. From Waterloo Bridge, you get one of London's absolutely best sunsets. If you come here at around 9:30 this evening, you will not be disappointed from the sunset from this bridge. We in London don't call this bridge Waterloo Bridge. We call it the Ladies' Bridge, because it was built by the Ladies' Land Army in World War II. Because this bridge was built by women, it is the only bridge in London ever to be finished on time and under budget. So well done to the girls. On the left is Somerset House. Behind the trees you can see an archway where the people are walking. Boats used to go in and out of that archway. The River Thames used to be a lot wider. That's why now we have such a big high rise in the tides. The road behind the buildings on the left is called the Strand, which in Latin translates to beach, or when the Thames used to be a lot wider. The tide floods into London, thank you so much, every day for 5 hours, like it's doing now. It then goes out to sea for 7 hours. The difference every day between low and high tide is between 5 and 8 metres. Anything more than 8 metres, they shut the Thames barrier to stop London from flooding like it used to do. Today, high tide is about 8:30 this evening, and the tide will rise today 6.5 metres. If you look along the left and along the right, you can see these black lampposts. These lampposts used to be gas. It was people's job to light them every night in Victorian times and put them out every morning. They're not allowed to be gas anymore, they're electric. But beneath the lions on the left, beneath the lampposts on the left, you can see lions' heads. And these lions' heads were put here by the Victorians as an early flood warning system. If the tide got up to the lions, it meant it was going to go over the roads and London would flood like it used to do. The Victorians made a lovely little poem to go with these lions. The poem was, if the lions are drinking, London might be sinking. If the tide reaches the lions' mains, London is surely going down the drains. But if the lions' heads become completely ducked, then London is well and truly flooded, as not all poems have to rhyme, folks. Coming up now on the left is my favourite building in London, St Paul's Cathedral. I go there once a year. It's my absolutely favourite thing to see and do in London. It stands 365 feet tall, easily remembered as 1 foot for every day of the year. It took Sir Christopher Wren 35 years to build. You can climb to the top of the dome. There is a beautiful outdoor viewing gallery, but it's 528 steps to get up there, and there's no lift. But the views are worth it. Ahead of us now is the Blackfriars Road Bridge, opened by Queen Victoria in 1869. Myself and my colleague, we are licensed Thames watermen. We have to train 5 years to do this job. One of the things we have to learn is the height of every bridge arch on every bridge on the tidal Thames. We know the height of our boat, we know the height of the bridges, we add the tide, and then we wait to see if we can fit through. If you look coming up now, you're going to see as we go through this bridge a bale of hay. Now this bale of hay is here to tell us that the height for hundreds of years. They used to set the bale of hay on fire at night. You would see the bale of hay glowing and you would know it was less room than normal. We don't set the bale of hay on fire anymore. What we do instead is hang a light next to it. But a very peculiar thing you're about to see now to get a photo of, and it's been used on the Thames for hundreds of years. The bale of hay. Someone asked me the other day if it was for seahorses, and I did find that rather amusing. The second bridge you're going to see is the old St Paul's Railway Bridge, the red columns here. It used to bring steam trains from the countryside up into London. No longer fit for modern trains, the tops of the bridge have been removed. They can't remove the pillars, otherwise it would undo the foundations for the other two bridges. The third and final bridge above you now, this is the new railway bridge, the Blackfriars Railway Bridge. This is the most expensive bridge ever to be built on the Thames. It costs £620 million to build. As it's not just a bridge, it's a train station. If you look behind you now, you'll see the people, the trains and the platforms. They built this bridge/train station for the London 2012 Olympics, which is a lovely idea, except they finished it in 2013, only 1 year late. On the right now, the Tate Modern, the building with the large brown chimney. The Tate Modern is the largest collection of modern art in the world. It is completely free to visit the Tate Modern. And I assure you, after spending 5 minutes in this building, you will understand why it's completely free to visit. I was in there 2 months ago, and there was a room full of shopping trolleys that had been smashed apart and painted pink. Modern art for you, ladies and gentlemen. Ahead of us now, the Millennium Bridge. They built this bridge for the turn of the millennium in the year 2000. On its opening day, this bridge was open for just 3 hours. When people started to walk across the bridge, it started to sway side to side and bounce up and down. The police had no choice but to shut the bridge, and the bridge was shut for a whole year while they spent £5 million fixing it. So Londoners nickname it still the Wibbly Wobbly Bridge. On the right now, Shakespeare's Globe Theatre, a replica to Shakespeare's original theatre, the only building in London allowed to have a thatched roof. The shows are performed in the replica the same way they were in the original 400 years ago. No microphones, no speakers, no artificial lighting. The shows run every year from April till October, and they're just £10 a ticket. And trust me when I tell you, £10 anything in this city is a bargain. Unless we're talking about the price of a pint of beer, and then you're being well and truly ripped off. Coming up next on the right now, you can see some stone stairs going into the river. There used to be hundreds of these stairs going into the river. These are known as waterman stairs. Mine and Mikey's job 300, 400, 500 years ago would have been to pick people up from these stairs, row them up and down the river and across the river when there were barely any bridges. You could only do that if you're a licensed waterman. We used to be given our licenses directly from the King or Queen. We now get our licenses from the government. As I mentioned on the right, one of the best walks you can do in London. Coming up on the right, the 7th oldest pub in London, the Anchor. This pub is 411 years old. Many famous people have drank in this pub, from William Shakespeare, Sir Christopher Wren, Charles Dickens. The most recent famous person to drink in that pub, myself and Mikey. We go there nearly every night to do the hours and hours of research to tell you all the information we're telling you right now. Sometimes I do so much research, my girlfriend comes and drags me out of there. But it's a very, very lovely pub. As we go through, coming up on the right now, in between the buildings, you will see the pirate ship. This is a replica to Francis Drake's Golden Hind. The original Golden Hind went round the world once. This replica on your right has already been round the world twice, And at the end of this year, we'll be going around the world for a third and final time. A friend of mine called John Turk has been getting this ship ready for the past 2 years, ready for its final voyage. Ahead of us now, London Bridge. There's been 5 London bridges to cross the river here in 2,000 years. The first one put here by the Romans, made of wood. This version of London Bridge has been here since 1973. The previous London Bridge, the one just before this, was built by an American businessman called Robert McCulloch for $1 million. And it now stands today over Lake Havasu in the Arizona desert. The old London Bridge, now in Arizona. If you look on the left, you can get a very good picture of the words London Bridge here, carved into the legs of the bridge. Coming up on the right, the Shard, the tallest building in London, 1,016 feet tall. The Shard is covered in 11,000 individual planes of glass. If you want to go to the top of the Shard, it will cost you £35 to go up there. The views are lovely, but £35 is quite expensive. I'm going to save every single person on this boat £35. Look left. There's a building that gets wider as it gets taller with bright edges. At the top, lots of people up there. That is called the Sky Garden, a giant indoor garden with 2 bars and 2 restaurants. The views up there are just as good as the Shard. Trust me, I have been to both. And it is completely free to go up there as long as you book a time slot in advance. Reserve the space, it's free. Turn up on the day, you pay. Coming from a Londoner, save yourself £35, book the Sky Garden. Coming up on the right now, many people won't see this as it is heavily camouflaged. But if you've got a very good pair of eyes, ladies, would you mind just moving up a tiny bit so other people can take a seat? Thank you so much. Coming up, if you've got a good pair of eyes, you might just see the HMS Belfast. It was built in Belfast in the same docks as the ill-fated Titanic. The Belfast has 12 6-inch guns that can fire around 17 miles. It was the first ship to fire on the beaches of Normandy in World War II, the opening shots on D-Day. The ship has been here since the 1970s as a floating museum. You can now explore all 9 of the ship's decks, from the engine room beneath the waterline all the way up to the ship's radar. It is a great way to spend a few hours here in London. If you like history here in London, coming up on your left, the Tower of London. The Tower of London has been here for almost 1,000 years. Madam, if you put this cold bottle on your neck, it will help you out. If you hold that on your neck, that will chill you down a little bit. If you like history, the Tower of London, been here since 1066. It's been many things in this time. It's been a mint, an observatory, a prison, a palace, a place of worship, a place of torture. It's even been a zoo. When it was a zoo 200 years ago, they had elephants. Unfortunately, they didn't know anything about elephants, so they gave them a diet of red wine and bread. They did not live very long lives, but happy ones, we've been told. Today, the Tower of London is a museum. You can spend 5-6 hours in this building and not be bored. Inside is the crown jewels, but there is so much to see and do. One of the best things to do in London. And of course, in front of the boat now, Tower Bridge. Tower Bridge is 132 years old. It was that age this time last week. This last Tuesday it celebrated its birthday. It is a Bastille Bridge. It opens and shuts in the middle. It only takes 60 seconds for Tower Bridge to fully open or fully close. It used to open around 200 times a week. The record is 64 times in a day. It now only opens about 10 times a week on average. Not very often. Once again, as we go through the bridge, give the people up there a wave. If you get a wave back, it's another 5 years good luck. It is completely free to have Tower Bridge lifted. You just have to give them 24 hours notice, have a boat that can't fit through, and they open the bridge free of charge. There is only one day of the year the bridge is legally not allowed to open. It's in April, it's a Sunday, it is the day of the London Marathon. The reason being the bridge is the exact halfway point for the marathon. I personally think the marathon would be much more entertaining if they did leave a 6-foot gap in the middle, but they've ignored my suggestion every year. Mike, you slowed the boat down.